Hey everybody, it's the Shape back to another video. I know the lighting is low and everything, but it's about the way I feel. Lab 15 brought something to my attention. Now, the case a couple of years ago, I remember the Gannons Dad case. Heartbreaking case. It always is when it involves children. And she helped me, research and get the stuff I needed for this video. But I just want to talk about true crime community as a whole. I've dabbled in it. I watch a few videos here and there. Most of them are in it for the right reasons, like bringing awareness to the case and putting out facts. And it's okay to have your opinion too sometimes, as long as you do it right. Then there's people that do it for monetary gain, like Zav Girl. Now, I don't know if you know about the case, but I watched a video that chapter did, a good YouTuber.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is
Mike, and in this video, not all. Hey.
And I cut the video up to where it's short and it tells you everything you need to know in case you don't know. And then you'll see why I made the video. Let's get into it.
We're going to look at the disappearance of Gannon Stoke. 11-year-old Gannon Stoke disappeared in Colorado on January 27th, 2020. 11-year-old 5th grader Gannon Stoke was the older of two children, having one sister, Lena, who was 8. He was described as a loving kid. When he was born, he was given a 1 in 10 chance of survival. His father, Al Stoke, is in the military, working in missile defense. Al shared custody of Gannon and Lena with their mother, Landon, who lives in South Carolina. In 2015, Al married Letitia Harden, who was a 17-year-old daughter, Harley. Both Letitia and all the Stokes are from South Carolina. But in 2020, Al, Letitia, Letitia's daughter Harley, Gannon and Lena were all living in Colorado Springs. In January, Al Stoke was in Oklahoma on military assignment, and on the 27th of that month, Gannon Stoke disappeared. He was reported missing by Letitia, who said that on that day, 'twas a Monday, he left their home between 3:15 and 4 p.m. to go to a friend's house. Didn't say which friend. He was reportedly not in school that day because he was sick. And it would be a few hours later that he would be reported missing on the 27th of January 2021. It was reported as a runaway, which wasn't like Gannon at all.
And happening now, a family needs your help to find an 11-year-old boy who authorities say ran away.
The El Paso County Sheriff's Office tells us that Gannon Stouch was last seen by his family on Monday when he said he was going to a friend's house.
And News 5's Jessica Bretto is joining us from the Sheriff's Office with what we know about Gannon. Jessica.
Good morning, Bree and Ira. Well, Gannon is still missing, but we're told people have been searching for him since Monday night, and they've covered a lot of ground already in and around that boy's neighborhood. They've been searching all over Lorson Ranch, Fountain, and beyond. They've been posting flyers like this around their neighborhood, also online. All these efforts to bring Gannon home.
I'm Landon Hyatt, Gannon's mom. And I encourage you guys, I know many of you mothers and fathers, I encourage you just to find him. I'm so thankful for all the outpouring help that this case has brought. My son is a very loving kid. He wouldn't want harm on anybody at all. And it's so hard to just think, why is this happening to him? I have no clue, but my kid deserves to come home. My kid has a purpose. My kid has a life. And it's important to me. And it's important to everybody that's standing in this room. Gannon, Bubba, little man, mommy's hero, wherever you're at, mommy and daddy's here. And we're begging and pleading for you to come home.
Roderick Drayton had to go through some footage taken on his home security and saw this on the day Gannon went missing. It appears to show Letitia getting into a red pickup truck Monday morning at 10:13 a.m. The footage also appears to show Gannon walking slowly as he approaches and gets into the truck. He seems to be wearing a blue hoodie, which is what he was reportedly wearing the day he was last seen. When Letitia returned back in the truck at 2:19 p.m., she was alone. An arrest warrant was issued for her on February 28. by the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. On January 29th, Letitia arrived for a police interview. She actually arrived 2 hours late. This is the bizarre part. She told the cops that on the 27th of January, she was held at gunpoint by a Hispanic man named Eduardo in her basement. At one point, she said, Gannon jumped on Eduardo's back. Eduardo threw him against the wall, and after that he kidnapped Gannon and stole a brown suitcase.
Today I got the worst news and the best news. Obviously we know what the worst news is, but the best news is that justice will be served. And I'll make sure that justice is served because my boy did not deserve any of this that has happened to him.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Allen. I'm the Senior Deputy District Attorney prosecuting the Letitia Stout case here in the 4th Judicial District. I'm joined here today with District Attorney Dan May. I do know that I speak for everyone who's been involved in this case when I say that our hearts are with Gannon's family and his friends. Ever since news broke that Gannon's body was found in Florida, we've been inundated with inquiries from the press and the public. Today I filed new formal charges in the case against Letitia Stout. Those charges are murder in the first degree after deliberation, a Class 1 felony that carries a potential prison sentence of life in prison without parole. In addition to that, I've filed 8 counts of crime of violence for the alleged use of a firearm, a blunt instrument, a knife or other sharp object, and for causing the death of Gannon Stout. These new charges are added to the original 4 charges that we originally filed in this case. Keep in mind, these are merely allegations. All defendants are presumed innocent until and unless they are proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I will not compromise the integrity of this investigation, so I will not discuss the circumstances surrounding Gannon's death, nor any details regarding...
On March 20th, authorities announced they'd found Gannon's body. He was found all the way in Florida, Pace to be exact, near Pensacola. His body was stuffed in a suitcase and left under a bridge. It's unclear at this time how he ended up all the way in Florida. The autopsy revealed he had been shot, stabbed, his body put in a suitcase and thrown off a bridge.
And this is where they say the plot thickens, ladies and gentlemen, because a news channel just so happened to pick up on this, Zav Girl as well. As they go through, I'm going to show a few screenshots they don't show as well. But somebody like this 100% deserves to be called out on it. The lowest of the low. I know I've told you guys, like those people that pretend to talk to family spirits, you know, recently passed celebrities, and they pretend to talk to their spirits. You know what I feel about them people. Well, she's even lower than that. And that's saying a whole lot.
And they actually released the photos to her. She had to pay. They released the photos and she got them. And you can just imagine, based on the description of the way that little boy was killed, what those photos looked like. Zav Girl then proceeded to post them on her Patreon account, which is an account attached to her YouTube page, and she charged her followers money to see the autopsy photos. For $3, you could see little Gannon's body.
That Burnett 6842, this is in Zav Girl's comment section. I felt it prudent to read a couple of comments. This is the worst response, Zav. You are not a victim. Gannon is. I hope no one disrespects your family the way you did Gannon's. Take some accountability for your actions, delete your autopsy link, and donate the profits as the family requested. Unsubbed. Rightfully so.
She was making money off of that little boy's autopsy photos. Autopsy photos of a severely beaten to death little boy. Really, they just got no place on the internet.
And in a lot of my videos, how many times have I said, think of the family, think of the family? I know it gets old sometimes when I repeat that over and over, but I think this kind of stands. You've got the unalive body, autopsy, uncensored, on your Patreon, behind a paywall. Now, it's bad enough to have it, period. Even if it wasn't behind a paywall. That's horrible. You should be ashamed of yourself. But you had to add the money onto that. Had to put it behind a paywall. Oh, you got to pay to see on other people's misery, other people's heartbreak, other people's tragedy, Monetization.
It was hard enough for the jury to have to look at them, but for this YouTuber to go to all that trouble to request them, to pay the money, to get them from the government, and not only post them, but then to charge people to see them. I mean, I just find it sick. And I question, has Zav Girl ever even been in a courtroom or interviewed a grieving family? That's my issue with some of these YouTubers that cause problems. They hide behind their computers. They don't even use their real names. Like in this case, we don't even know who Zav Girl really is. And if you're so proud of your page, I don't know why people don't just use their real name. This is a real family's life. This morning, Zav Girl, she got a lot of heat for this. She posted a statement on her YouTube page about the controversy. It was deleted. It's back up now. I screen grabbed it. This is part of it. She wrote, "The reality of the situation is that different people feel differently about this. Some people are genuinely think making a video including the autopsy photos is bad, and I respect their opinion and feelings. Other people like myself think of autopsy photos and the coroner discussing, explaining, interesting, and informative. Are all able to view it in a more scientific, detached way."
Now, you seen that part that Mr. Newsman just showed you. Now, she goes on also to say, well, other people have done this same thing, but nobody's saying anything to them. They're just saying it to me. It's like she's trying to kind of push the blame away. Oh, well, they did it too. It's not just me. They did it. Well, if they jumped off a bridge, would you do it? Zav Girl? You probably would. But we're not talking about them right now. We're talking about you. They'll be dealt with, I'm pretty sure. We're talking about you right now. Pushing that blame away. And you make yourself like you're the victim. No. Gannon is the victim. That little boy, he's the victim. The family are heartbroken. And, oh, man, I tell you, I'm almost at a loss for words. And that's rare for me, ladies and gentlemen. Now, she also says that if she had just been putting up nothing but autopsy photos, she would understand, people, on the Patreon, she would understand why people are upset. But she said, oh, I synced up the coroner's voice with it and put a lot of work into it. And that was to benefit you and educate you. It don't matter what you put with it, and it don't take that long to sync it up, lady. I've been doing YouTube 4 years. I can do that in 5 minutes. What are you talking about? It's easy. But that's what she says. I'm the victim. They done it. And I worked really hard on it.
Well, Zav Girl, there is nothing detached about posting the autopsy photos of an 11-year-old little boy and then, on top of it, which I really think pushes it over the line, charging money for people to see them. It is sick, it's deranged, and you should just own up to it. Whoever you are, wherever you live, maybe get out from behind your computer screen, go to the local courthouse, and actually sit through a murder trial and see what it's like for the families in real life. Not on YouTube, not sitting behind your computer and thinking about clicks, but actually go to the courthouse and see what these families actually have to deal with, and then think about how it might feel for them after having to see those photos in the courtroom to then have them plastered all over the internet and then be trying to charge people money to view them so you can get rich off of it.
What goes through somebody's mind to even think that that's okay to do that? I'm being serious. And this is coming from a dude wearing a plastic hockey mask that loves horror movies. You would think we'd be the dark ones, right? The ones that don't think right and the ones that do cruel things. But I tell you, Zav Girl, bottom of the barrel, lady. Bottom of the barrel.
It's just awful. I want to bring in District Attorney Michael Allen, who served as the lead prosecutor on Little Gannon's case. Thank you for being with us, Michael. You were the lead prosecutor. You had to go through that whole trial. I can't even imagine, this just got me so mad thinking about Gannon's family. I know they're aware of this. I mean, how are they processing all of this?
Well, thanks for having me on to talk about this. First off, we reached out to the family members and had discussions with them about this, just letting them know that, one, it's happening, and sort of what they can do potentially to combat this. But honestly, there's nothing they can do to get these photos down once they're on the internet. It's just completely disrespectful to the family members that have had to live through this horror. But even more so, I mean, Gannon deserves so much more in life from his stepmother, and he certainly deserves dignity and respect in death. And there's nothing about what this YouTuber is doing, and I think there's another one out there as well, that they're doing that provides any dignity or respect to Gannon. And the statement that they put out about this incident, sort of justifying it, it just rings hollow. Other ways to do this. Scientifically, they could have used body diagrams that the autopsy also included, instead of putting the actual pictures of Gannon's just completely broken body.
If you'll monetize that, ladies and gentlemen, you'd monetize anything. Now, I wanted to read this comment as well. Okay? This is from Madalirum 3D Arts Creations. Here's the thing. This isn't about what we think. Gannon's family has been through a hell that most of us will never comprehend. This case was closed already, and his family had finally started to heal from those wounds. All this did was reopen those wounds for absolutely no reason other than greed. Well said. For all of you defending this because your thirst for morbid curiosity wasn't quenched, or your quest for scientific knowledge was hampered, too bad. Here's some science for you, Zav. The world doesn't revolve around you, thankfully. Where'd my light go? Bam! There we go. Now, Brian Anton on Twitter put, why would any YouTuber think it's appropriate to post autopsy photos of a brutally unalived 11-year-old boy and then charge money for people to see the photos? Imagine how little Gannons Stauch's family feel. YouTuber is someone named Zav Girl. She had a response to the situation posted this morning, but has now taken it down. I screen grabbed it, of course. Thanks to all who messaged me about this. Doing a segment tonight, alright? Now, I've heard Zav Girl had taken the photo down and is putting it on Dropbox. Now, I'm not 100% sure on that, but True Crime with Natasha Cooper put, I am going live on Patreon to show crime scene pics and autopsy photos of Gannon Stauch. Anyone at the $3 labels and above will be able to view it live. Wow. Takes a little bit more faith out of humanity, doesn't it? Oh, Zav Girl, your merch says justice and equality. Also says love justice. But hey, let me give you a good merch idea. How about a solid black shirt with big bold white lettering that says, I exploit heartache and tragedy for monetary gain and views and clicks. Beautiful. Mwah. They would fly right off the shelf. This is from Gannons Dad, and it's heartbreaking. Gannon is my child, and it is not an experiment nor a piece of paper or photo. He is a child. I pray that all that is involved in this heinous act will stop and no longer do this to anyone else. I will not give you any satisfaction. No one deserves this, and no one wants to be in these shoes. You may say that if it happened to you, you may not change your actions. I do not wish this on anyone. I'm sure you would rethink your actions if this was indeed your child. The good that I take from this is that good people still exist. And in a matter of seconds, Gannon's army came together. I surely hope Gannon taught you all a lesson. He is the one who deserves an apology. My son Gannon. Well said, sir. I saved the most heartbreaking comment last. This is from Ganons Nana. Heartbreaking. LaRonda Bullard, I'm Ganons Nana. This is devastating. Why would anyone do this? It's breaking our hearts all over again. If this happened to one of their children, it would not happen. Please let our family find some peace. Our hearts will never be the same. This goes out to all families that have lost a loved one. Some people don't have a heart, no feelings at all. Please respect our family. This is a nightmare. Please respect us. I just don't understand why anyone would do this. Guys, if you see the family members on Facebook, go give them some love. Just don't mention nothing about the bad stuff. Just give them love and prayers, whatever. Just be nice. But now I guess you guys can see why I made the video. It's just heartbreaking. And I would never wish any channel be removed from YouTube, ever. YouTube's been good to me. And I think you should be able to pretty much film anything you want. As long as it's legal and moral, right? But yeah, this is one time that I go against how I feel about. At least, I don't know about removed completely from YouTube, but definitely all that content on this family's tragedy should be removed. I hope YouTube does something, right? That being said, guys, man, I'm just all over the place right now. It's heartbreaking. But my regular content will become probably tomorrow. I got a big, awesome video. Long, good, one of my best. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And if you pray for this family, and I'll see you in the next video. Y'all come back now. You hear? Peace.